Hello, my sweet friends, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Wednesday to everyone. I recently went to our local Dollar Tree and found myself in the craft aisle. So, of course, I have to go through those stickers to make sure there isn't any hidden treasure that I might need to bring home. And so, of course, I found this set. I thought it was so bright and cheerful and happy, and of course it had plaid, so in the cart it went along with my Lay's Stacks potato chips, and then I brought it home. And not until I got it out to work with did I realize what a challenge it was going to be, because it is quite large and that pattern is so busy. So stick with me in this video. I'm going to share with you how I overcame these challenges to create a very summer and spring inspired greeting card that's also very dimensional. Stick with me and we'll make it together. So here is that sticker sheet I mentioned, and as you can see, it's a pack of 2, which is nice because now I can make a whole another project with them. So of course they're very bright and cheerful, and they're very dimensional as well. The first thing I did was to take this out and add some additional foam spacers to the back because they just were not enough of them and they weren't very thick, and I wanted this to have a much more layered look. So I did add quite a lot of those foam tabs, and that also helped to support the sticker all the way around rather than just in these 2 spots. So I'm going to very carefully go through my stash and find the color I think I want to pull out. So I've got options. I can pick green, pink, blue, or yellow, and I know those will all coordinate because they're already here in the sticker and I already like it. I decided on the pink, and I just ran through some of my paper pads until I found a pink that matched and also did not contrast too much. So this does have a very subtle floral pattern, but it really reads as a solid in my opinion. And this is the portion that I cut out. I used a set of nested dies, and this is just basic shapes. You can get these pretty much anywhere. I think mine came from Gina Marie Designs, and so I have a lot of options for sizes, but I picked this one because it did fit this sticker profile very nicely. It's much longer than it is tall, so I knew that it would be a perfect frame for my sticker, and so I just use this to cut out the center, and that is a great way to create an inexpensive frame with your papers. So of course I want to have a solid color border as well, and I thought this lighter pink would really help the brighter pink to pop and be more bold and graphic. And so my next color choice is going to be this very small pink dot, and I wanted this to act as a neutral behind my sticker. It's still small enough that you can see that overall pattern, but it is very subtle, and so it does not compete with all of the pattern here on my sticker. So this is just going to be a regular 5 by 6.5 inch card, very standard size. My first layer I'm putting on with just the double-sided adhesive tape. I want it to be flat against the background. And then I want to bring in a layering pattern now. Of course, we've already got a lot going on with that sticker, but I think it helps to tell a story, fill in the background, add a lot of interest, but I don't want to compete with that. So this is just a very light, like a whitewashed wood grain. I found this in my scrap sleeve. I keep all of my wood grain patterns in there when I get them to offcuts because they really do come in handy, and I didn't have to cut into a new piece for this, so that made me happy. And I just cut it a little bit narrower there so that I can frame it with my darker pink color. I'm gonna line it right up to the bottom of that dot paper so that I can take advantage of the border that I already have going. So now I want to bring in that frame. So this is going to be the toughest part, I think, to get this positioned on there square, and I'll probably pull it a little closer to me just so that I can see over top of it. I cut that frame out with my die, as I mentioned before, and then I pop that all up on a double-sided adhesive tape. And so this is going to be where we get our first layer of dimension. This is cut the same size as my dot paper, so I know if I can get it lined up to the corner and then side and the bottom, hopefully it'll work out. But I'm going to do that off camera because you don't need to see me struggling with getting this position. Okay, so that went much better than I expected. It can be hard to position something once you've cut the middle out because it does get a little bit wobbly. So here's my frame with my neutral background and a layering pattern. I'm going to attach this to my card front. This, as I mentioned, is 5 by 6.5, and it's going to be top folding because our word runs the length of it this way. And I did go ahead and finish the inside with the coordinated paper. I'll go ahead later and add a portion for sentiment to be added, but for now I can just attach this to my card base, and this will be the front of my card. Okay, so I just pulled that a little closer again so that I could see over top. And now this is very sturdy, it's very dimensional, and it has the cutest little bright pink frame. So now what I want to do is bring in my sticker, and you can see it does fit pretty much perfectly in the space that is left behind by that cutout. So I'll just go ahead and remove all of the backing off of my double-sided adhesive tab, and then just position that right along this cut line so that will hide that edge. I do want to be careful to make sure I get that word pretty much straight and even and level. So here is a whole lot more fun dimension in center of the card. There's still room for a very compact flower arrangement. I did make this one with a combination of flowers from Little Birdie Crafts and really reasonable ribbon. That's a chrysanthemum. I think it works really nicely for these summer and spring inspired cards. These have just twine. I left out the netting for these because I wanted to fill a smaller footprint on the corner of my card, and then rather than the larger flourish die cut flower die cut leaves, I just went for some smaller rose leaves, and I cut that from the same shade of green as in the tree. So once again, I already know it's going to coordinate because it's in the sticker and I already like it. It's just going here on the bottom, and I am not too concerned about covering the corner of that L because it already has a flower on it, so it's not going to take away from anything. And I've got the dimension of my chrysanthemum just setting into that frame so that it isn't causing too much bulk in the corner. It's heavy, so I am going to attach it with some hot glue and just make sure that is all tucked into the borders of that card so that I don't leave any fragile pieces hanging over. I've just got one simple little charm today because this already has quite a lot going on, and so it's a little bird, and I put it over top of a portion of that tree, and I will attach it as I do with hot glue. And then this time, to cover that cut end of string, I'll just bring my bow up to this corner. I tied this with some light pink wrinkle ribbon. Once again, that is from a really reasonable ribbon, and the twine in as well. Here's a little vintage button in the corner just to add a little bit of extra detail. And I'm going to have a look at these tails. You see they're not quite even, so I want to clip that off now before I add it to the card because that would be much more difficult. And so then I'm just going to add my hot glue and disguise those cut strings, and just tuck that into the frame as well to keep it from getting bulky, same as I did with the flowers. Okay, that is all for my Dollar Tree challenging sticker solution. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure to give me a big thumbs up, like and share this video. You can find all of our social media sites in the description below. And if you're not already, I would love for you to join my crafty little family. Just hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll be alerted every time we add new content. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.